'cause I'm whooping out some demons all up and down the line. All in the line. I'm Bubba Ho-Tep, mama. Thank you very much.
Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight, the official YouTube channel of serialatmidnight.com. I'm getting pretty good at that. My name is Heath, and I'm glad you're here because if you can't tell by the title of the video, the thumbnail of the video, the song at the beginning of the video, or the little mini museum that I've placed around here, some have actually said that these are creepy little shrines that I put up, so no creepy intended, but we will be talking about the IDW comic book series, whichever, Bubba Ho-Tep and the Cosmic Bloodsuckers. This is based on Joe R. Lansdale's Bubba Ho-Tep, obviously the movie, which is boop right there. He's reaching out. Boop. E.T. fingers. Phone home. So it's Joe R. Lansdale's property. And Bubba Ho-Tep, we've talked about a little bit on the channel before. It's Bruce Campbell. It's good. I like that movie. But now we have a comic book series written by Josh Jabcuga, not to be confused with Jabcuga Mellencamp. That's a whole different entertainer. But the full disclosure, Josh, who I'm just going to call Josh from this point forward, because it's kind of a tongue twister for me. I seem to have trouble with that. He reached out to me. Basically, like, he found the channel. He likes the channel. He basically sent me a message. He's like, dude, I really like your channel. You seem to really have, like, he likes the take of the channel, the stuff that we talk about. And he wanted to see if I was interested in reviewing his comic book. It was not just his comic book, obviously. It's Joe R. Lansdale's story, and it's drawn. The art is by Tadd Galusha. He sent me the issues because he likes the channel, and he thought I would enjoy it, and he was right. So that's the full disclosure. And actually, I have to say that Josh and I have become, like, best friends in the whole world. We went to Six Flags together. That didn't happen. We went to Milwaukee and recreated the Laverne and Shirley opening credits, and we have a picture of us like waving goodbye to the glove as it goes by. None of that actually happened, but he is a really cool guy, and we've been going back and forth talking about like Rolling Stones albums and Amigo figures and stuff like that. So he is very much, he's one of us. And so that's cool to me because you never know, even you commenting or watching this video, you never know who's watching this video, who's reading your comments in the comments below. So that's very cool. But nevertheless, Josh did send me these 3 issues of Bubba Ho-Tep, the third one of which just came out this past week. And now if you're watching this in 2072, after the zombie apocalypse, then you've read the whole thing, and you know. But as I'm recording this, the third issue is all that's the most recent one. So I want to talk about the title a little bit and what I appreciate about it, what I enjoy about it, and maybe see if you are interested. That's really all I like to do in these videos, is if I see something that's cool, if something, as I say, if it floats across the Serial at Midnight desk, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like to spread the word. And I think that if you're into Bubba Ho-Tep, and I know how many of you guys are into horror and are into like exploitation and the low budget kind of thing like that, just like fun, campy, sense of like whatever, like crazy crap. I think that this has a lot of appeal, and it's actually getting, like, I know a lot of people who are picking these issues up. My peeps over at Rupert Pupkin Speaks, they picked this comic book up. So this is appealing to movie fans, to horror movie fans. So I'm going to have to do some interesting dancing here because I can't really I'm not going to talk about the plot or anything like that because I would not want to rob you of the experience of reading these yourself. But I will say, Bubba Ho-Tep, the movie, takes place with an older, like, the premise is, again, trying to dance around spoilers here, but the premise is that Elvis essentially faked his death and went into monster hunting for the government, Richard Nixon, because they were pals, right? And lived a private life as a monster hunter. And then by the time of Bubba Ho-Tep, there's a retirement home involved. He's just trying to finish out his days, it's a whole thing. But what I actually really like about the comic book is it's a prequel. It's not like The Phantom Bubba or anything like that, but it is a prequel, and it takes place with a younger Elvis, I'm guessing we're in the 70s here. I don't know that the date is ever explicitly stated, but judging by the fashion and the storyline and all of that stuff, I believe we're dealing with the 70s here. Obviously the thick glasses Elvis, the overweight, pudgy Elvis. That is super washed out. We'll just go with this one. We'll go back to this one. The super, like Elvis at the peak of his excess. How about that? But what I love about it, and I do use the word love because it is definitely in my wheelhouse. You guys know that I really dig like the 60s, 70s kind of counterculture thing, and all of that is present in this comic book. And so we have a younger Elvis who has, he's in the prime of his monster hunting career or whatever. He's being led by Colonel Tom Parker as his like handler and like his direct superior, who therefore answers to Richard Nixon, or maybe like a fake Richard Nixon or whatever. And there's like a cosmic threat, basically. It's the titular cosmic bloodsuckers. And so it is not at all taking itself seriously. It's just having fun with the concept of Elvis, the monster hunter, in a way that, look, I'm not comparing to tear down this Bubba Ho-Tep. This is amazing, and this is back on people's radar because it just hit 15 years. It's just now 15 years old, which is crazy to me. 2003. I can't believe that. Like I do not feel like this was 15 years ago, and that makes me feel old and sad. Not retirement home old or sad, just kind of like, wow, 15 years. But I will also say that there was a recent convention appearance where I believe it was Don Coscarelli himself, director of Bubba Ho-Tep, said that he could see Bubba Ho-Tep as a TV series. And I imagine if we got a TV series, it would not be retirement Elvis. It would probably be, like 40-year-old Elvis eating peanut butter and banana sandwiches. And by the way, if you've never had a peanut butter and banana sandwich, they are delicious. You got to butter the bread really well. You do it in a pan on the stove. You put some peanut butter on that thing. You squash up the banana so it's really runny, and then you basically fry it in some butter. It's not healthy. It's not good for you at all. You might die on the toilet if you eat it, but it is delicious. And if you go to Graceland, they actually serve it in one of the restaurants there. But anyway, I digress. So anyway, I have to imagine if they did do a TV series, the concept would lend itself much more to a younger, hungry Elvis who's still in the prime of his life. But what I love about the comic book is that it is so the voice of Elvis. Like, I know that I've read some interviews with Josh where he's talking about how he's basically adapting Joe R. Lansdale's copy. Or not copy, his looking at comic books and seeing copy. He's basically adapted Joe R. Lansdale's story pretty much like word for word, I believe. I don't think he's taken liberties. I think he's pretty strict on it. But so I can't say that the words are his or the words are Joe's, but it feels so true. If you've ever heard any like bootlegs of Elvis, like some of the stuff that's off the record where he's dropping F-bombs and he's like busting the chops of his entourage, it sounds like what we have in here. And this is also, I should mention, this is a very, if it were rated, it would be very rated R. I mean, there's a lot of beebs and a lot of adult language and stuff in here, adult situations. It's hard, but it's not like, it's fun. It's really fun. And I'm having a great time with it. I'm interested to see where the story goes. And I suspect that when it's all said and done, and all five, I think it's 5 issues again, when it's all said and done and it's collected or whatever, I will probably write it up for the serialatmidnight.com website so that there is a review there, because this is definitely up my alley. They weave in like drug culture of the 60s and the 70s, and like I don't want to spoil anything, but it's totally, you guys know, like, you know the stuff that I'm into, and you know that like I'm into the counterculture and the anti-authoritarian stuff, and this is like, it's weird because it's very much authoritarian. It's like, well, there's an Illuminati, like there's not just, like, if you're anti-authority, this is the authority to be anti. Like, it's a bunch of people who, in secret, are running everything, and like all these celebrities that are monster hunters or have been and have died, and like, again, I feel like I'm maybe saying too much, so I should stop and reel myself back in. But You can tell, like, I'm excited about this title. I think it's really cool. Kudos to IDW for publishing it. It's fantastically fun. I think it's something that movie fans, horror movie fans especially, will really appreciate. This is a great fit for the Halloween season. And that's it. I highly recommend it. And I will also say, on a personal level, my interactions with Josh have been fantastic. This copy is autographed, which is so nice. And he wrote me a handwritten note on the back of one of these. I'm not gonna hold it. You can't read it, guys. You can't. If you pause, you could probably read it. But he wrote a handwritten note. Like, who does that? Who writes a handwritten note? So. I do not feel like this is like a PR shilly kind of a thing. I feel like it's genuinely, he likes Serial at Midnight. He's proud of his book, as he freaking should be. And he wanted me to read it. So I have read it, and I'm recommending it to you guys if you're into that sort of thing. If you're not into horror, and you're not into the idea of Elvis fighting demons, then this is probably not going to be for you. But if you are, I highly encourage you to check it out. Seems to be doing pretty well. Like I said, I know a lot of people who are picking this up. So that's what I have to talk to you about today. Hopefully there will be more cool Bubba Ho-Tep stuff in the future. Maybe that TV show. It's all just one of those things where the guy says, I could see it as a TV show. And then everyone's like, oh, a TV show. We're living in a world where some really cool things can happen on TV and in our genre entertainment. So that being said, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. Thanks for always being so cool in the comments. If you have read this comic, I would love to see what you think about it in the comments below. And also, if you know anything about Josh, he wrote for, I should have said this, he wrote for Kevin Smith's movie Poop Shoot. He wrote like a Mummy tie-in to the third Mummy movie, the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie. He wrote a Scarface comic book, all for IDW. So he's got like serious geek cred. He is definitely one of us, and I think he's a cool guy. So I'll take pictures of us at Six Flags, and I will put them on the Instagram channel. But guys, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for checking out the video. I do appreciate you so much, and I will catch you. And I will catch you. What was that? I appreciate your time, baby. And I'll catch you later.